I think I think Andre Berto's finished. That's what I
Me
think. I
too,
think
bro.
I think he's damaged. Yeah, guy's been in a lot of tough fights. He's taken a lot of beatings, a lot of punishment. I think he's done. You know what I mean? Because what I saw in there against Guerrero, I don't really think Guerrero was that good. Yeah,
Me neither.
you know his defense. I mean, Guerrero's defense was wide open. He was getting hit so much on the inside, it wasn't even funny. So you know they're talking about him going in there against Mayweather. I mean, it's that's not even a fight as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? I mean, Floyd probably won't stop him, but man, he's gonna pick him apart. It's not even gonna be competitive. You know what I mean? From that performance anyway, I can't see it being competitive, man. What you can see on the screen right now is my Facebook status from Friday. All right, let me read it to you. I'm not excited about this weekend's fights. An exciting fight is one where I don't know who's going to win. A genuine 50-50 fight, like Trout versus Canelo. That was a real fight. But this weekend's challengers ain't challengers at all. They're fool guys. Guys who are brought in to make the star look good. We got Guerrero, who I have never rated highly at any point in his career. To me, he's one of the least impressive contenders at 147. Then we got Pianetta, who I seen somebody call Pinata. And I respect De Leon, but I don't think Mares will have too much trouble. In fact, I think he might stop De Leon late. I hope at least one of these fights turns out to be more competitive than I expect. All right, that was my Facebook status on Friday. And I did videos for the Floyd Guerrero fight and the Klitschko Pianetta fight when they were announced. So they're still on my channel. Go look at them. I did videos for those fights and I told you how I felt about those fights back then. I'm not here to hate on anyone. All right. I'm just here to tell it like it is. And what we saw tonight was not competitive fights. I'm talking about before the fights. These fights were not set up to be competitive. These fights were set up to be one-sided fights. That's what they were set up for. Yeah, they were never intended to be competitive fights. They were never intended to test these fighters. They were just money-making exhibitions, you know, which the casual fans who don't know no better, the casual fans and the fanatical fans who are fanatics of particular fighters, it was set up for them to revel in their, you know, heroes' supposed greatness, and for the casual fans to get sucked in by all the media hype, advertising these fights as real competitive fights, when in reality they were never going to be competitive. Right, so I ain't here to hate on no one, but I just like competitive fights. Maybe some people enjoy seeing one-sided fights. Yeah, because a lot of Floyd fans, for example, was saying that, you know, he's going to beat Guerrero easy. And then after he beat Guerrero, they're all celebrating and jumping on Floyd's nuts. And, oh, Floyd's the greatest. You know, they knew it was going to be one-sided before the fight was even announced. And the same way for Klitschko. Klitschko went in there against Pianetta, a guy who had no business even getting a title shot. But yet Klitschko managed to pack out a whole arena for a fight that was never competitive. So I don't know, maybe people are just so wrapped up in celebrity that they just worship their celebrity so blindly that they're just willing to see them fight anyone, even the guy from the grocery store. They can fight the guy from the grocery store, and you know millions of people are going to tune in and turn out in their thousands to watch the fight live, paying top dollar. You know, maybe people are just so infatuated by celebrity that that's what they sink to. You know, or maybe people like seeing one-sided fights. I don't know. Me personally, I don't like one-sided matchups. I like matchups which are 50-50 matchups where I'm not sure who's going to win. That's what's exciting about boxing, is not knowing who's going to win. Yeah, the past few weekends we've had those type of matchups which I've been excited for. I was excited for Donaire versus Rigondeaux. I was excited for Canelo versus Trout. Those was dangerous matchups for both opponents. Yeah, those was competitive fights. Those was fights where I was like, wow, who's going to win? You get what I'm saying? Those are the matchups I like. But this weekend, we didn't get that, and we were never going to get that. And anyone who bought into the hype, who actually believed that Guerrero Mayweather was going to be competitive, more fool you. All right? Because that shit was never set up to be competitive. That shit was set up to be a Floyd Mayweather exhibition where he takes on a guy who's not that dangerous. You know what I mean? Gives him a pasting, collects all your money and gets all your praise because you were so mesmerized by the performance, because you bought into the hype of believing that Guerrero was actually a serious threat. Yeah? people like me who knew that Guerrero wasn't a serious threat, I wasn't especially impressed by the performance because it's exactly the performance I expected against an opponent who I've never rated. Go look at any of my Robert Guerrero videos which exist anywhere on the internet, on YouTube, and you will see, way before Guerrero was even mentioned in the same sentence as Floyd Mayweather, I was saying Robert Guerrero ain't that good. Robert Guerrero's already lost twice, right? Obviously one of his losses was to Salido. Salido beat this guy, right? He barely scraped by Selcock Aiden. Selcock Aiden was beaten hands down by Soto Karass. Soto Karass did a better job on Selcock Aiden than Guerrero did. Then he fought washed up Andre Berto with no chin and coming off a long layoff, who Victor Ortiz already bashed up. And suddenly people think he's somehow going to compete with Mayweather. I don't get it. It was never supposed to be a competitive fight. It was just a money-making exhibition. That's all it was. Yeah, it's just for his diehard fans that will come out and watch him fight anyone and defend him against it. You know, they could put Floyd in there with a one-legged, one-armed man, and his diehard fans would defend that fight. You know what I mean? That's how fanatical some of these people are. And the same with Klitschko. People, I can't believe the amount of people that actually defended Klitschko against Pianetta. I mean, that was a disgraceful fight. No way in hell should Pianetta ever have got a title shot. You can never sit down and justify to me why Pianetta got that title shot. When other guys like Pulev and Fury and all these other guys have to fight eliminator after eliminator, you know, against each other. But yet a guy like Pianetta just gets plucked from obscurity and gets a title shot. Same thing with Marius Wack. You can't defend this shit. Yeah, so anyone who paid money to watch these things, more fool you. Because this was all just money-making exhibitions here. This is not real competitive boxing. Yeah? But everyone, obviously, that's on the hype train, whatever, the Vladimir hype train. I'm not saying Vladimir is not a good fighter. I think Vladimir is a fantastically talented fighter. But I got to call it like it is. The same goes with Floyd. I think Floyd is very talented. But you cannot tell me that he doesn't cherry-pick opponents. Right? And when I say cherry-pick, I'm not saying that he picks absolute bombs. I mean, Guerrero was, you know, WBC, whatever, interim champion. But at the end of the day, Floyd has said himself, belts don't mean shit. All right? What matters is the fights, not the belts. Yeah? The belts don't make you the champion. It's who you beat that makes you the champion. You understand? And at this stage of Floyd's career, probably for the past 4, 5, 6 years, Floyd has not been interested in challenging himself. He's a very talented fighter, but he's interested in staying within his comfort zone and taking fights that he 1,000,000% knows in his heart of hearts he's going to not only win, but win comfortably. That's the only kind of fight that Floyd Mayweather is interested in taking. And then he leaves it up to the media to hype up the fight so much to make it look like this challenger has a chance of beating Floyd. And that creates all the interest, that creates the buzz, that creates the money. That gets people's expectations up so high. So when Floyd wins the fight in one-sided fashion, everyone's so impressed. But if you hadn't bought into the hype in the first place and you'd actually looked at the facts, you would know that he was supposed to win in one-sided fashion because the opponent wasn't that good in the first place. All right? Now, like I say, Floyd is very talented, but he's not interested in a challenge. Yeah? Sugar Ray Leonard was interested in a challenge when he stepped up and fought Marvin Hagler. That was a massive challenge. That was a massive risk. He didn't have to take that fight, but he wanted to challenge himself. Roy Jones Jr. stepped up to fight John Ruiz, a man who was 50 pounds bigger than him naturally and a world champion at heavyweight. Not the greatest world champion, but still a world champion and a guy 50 pounds bigger naturally. He didn't have to do that. He did it for the challenge. All right? This is what the truly great fighters do. And that's why I can never put Floyd Mayweather in the same sentence as guys like Ray Robinson, Roy Jones Jr., Sugar Ray. I can't never put Floyd up there with those guys because he ain't done anything on the same level of those guys. He ain't taken on the challenges those guys was willing to take on. He ain't done it. You can bitch and cry and scream hater all you like. It's not hating. I'm just dealing with the facts. Yeah, that's why I can never see Floyd. I mean, I'm going to tell you a statement of fact right now. Anyone who says that Floyd Mayweather is the greatest fighter of all time don't know shit about boxing. That's the truth. How the hell can you say this guy's the greatest of all time when he ain't done the things that these other great fighters have done, when he ain't taken the risks and taken on the challenges the other guys have done, who ain't pushed his ability to the limit like other fighters have done. He ain't done that. So let's not try and degrade what champions of the past did. If he wants a challenge, there's plenty of challenges right now at 154 if he wants a challenge. Yeah? We'll see if he takes it. Right, there's plenty of challenges at 154 pounds right now. We'll see if he takes it. I hope he does. If Floyd takes on one of them guys, Canelo, Trout, Erislan De Lara, if he takes on one of those guys and beats them convincingly, trust me, I'm right on the Floyd Mayweather bandwagon. Yeah, trust me. I'll be driving the Floyd Mayweather train. You understand? But until he does that, I can't get excited for Floyd Mayweather fights. Because he's just staying within his comfort zone. He's not pushing himself like the true greats of the sport did. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's for Vladimir Klitschko. I just hope Vladimir fights someone with a pulse before he retires. Because we've got a lot of young guys coming up. Pulev, Fury, Wilder, all these young guys coming up. Jennings. I hope he fights one of these guys, man. I hope he fights it. Probably, to be honest, there's no reason why he shouldn't fight all of them. Because he still looks like he's in his prime. Right? People reach their peaks at different ages. And Vladimir has never looked better than he looks right now. So let's see him in there with all these guys, man. Please. Yeah. And a quick little bit about Abner Mares against Ponce de Leon. Again, this fight was not really set up to be a 50-50 fight. It was set up for Mares to come and snatch de Leon's belt. Right? That's what Golden Boy intended. Golden Boy are building up Mares to be one of their superstars. They were not going to put him in with someone that had a genuine 50-50 chance of beating him. It was never going to happen. They're putting him in there with someone who, you know, they're pretty sure he would beat. And that's what I expected. You know, a lot of people bought into the hype with Ponce de Leon because he gave Broner a tough fight. But as far as I'm concerned, and I ain't hating, yeah, but I think Broner's overrated. And that don't mean that I'm saying Broner's not a good fighter. Broner is a good fighter. But when I say overrated, I mean he's not as good as the general public believe him to be. As far as I'm concerned, Broner's already got 2 losses on his record. Yeah, so him doing well against Broner, you know, Ponce de Leon doing well against Broner, to me, it's not a big deal. I'm like, so what? Broner's not even that good. So people were really believing he could beat Mares. But the fact that Golden Boy are willing to put Mares in with Ponce de Leon shows you all you need to know. All right? De Leon's past his best, and I never saw it going well for De Leon, you know what I mean? So this was a weekend of safe fights, money-making fights. These were fights for the fanatics. These were fights for the gullible, casual boxing fans. These were not fights for the true, neutral boxing fans who just love good, competitive matchups. Yeah? This weekend was not for fans like us. This weekend was for, you know, the fanatics and the gullible fans and all that kind of stuff. But it weren't for true, neutral, you know what I mean, fans who just want to see great competitive fights. You understand? So I hope that we don't have too many of these weekends this year. You know, in terms of who Floyd should fight next, let's see the Canelo fight. Let's get it done. Let's get that fight done. Right? And I know people are now saying Canelo's too big for Floyd. But those same people that are now saying he's too big for Floyd used to be saying that Floyd destroys Canelo easy. Right? If Floyd destroys Canelo easy, then Floyd will take the fight. It's as simple as that. If Floyd believes in his heart of hearts that he can easily beat Canelo Alvarez, then he will definitely take the fight. Because Canelo Alvarez is a massive name in the sport. The fight would generate huge amounts of money. There's no reason on earth. If Floyd believes he can beat Alvarez, he will definitely take the fight in September. Yeah, definitely. Otherwise, hey, it must be something else. It must be Floyd ain't that confident. And as far as Klitschko, same with Klitschko. And you know, the thing about Vladimir, what he seems to be doing to me, is he seems to be waiting for all these young contenders to beat each other. And then he'll pick up the damaged goods after he's beat, you know, let these guys beat. That's just what I see. You know what I mean? Don't call me a hater. I'm just telling it like I see it. You get what I'm saying? When Vladimir does something great, I'll praise him for doing something great. But right now, what he's doing, I think is foul. You know what I'm saying? It's foul. And he's just milking his celebrity right now. It's foul, man. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm sure people got a lot to say about this. I'm sure I'll upset a lot of feelings and whatnot. But I just got to speak the truth. I just got to speak the truth, man. So it is what it is. So drop your comments in the comment section below. This is Hatman. I'm out.